as the league is about to bow down, we look at the fixtures or the results before match day 38, and Manchester City are to be crowned a record fourth champion in a row. And for us now, is it again we try next season? But how many times will next season? And we say goodbye to the newly promoted teams now have become the newly relegated teams. We speak about that and more on the Soccer Huddle. Yeah, this is your boy Mujera Laid, just an ordinary guy discussing the beautiful game, discussing the Quilly amount. And this game week was actually 2 game weeks in one. We saw the weekend result and we saw as well the midweek results. Arsenal fans were like 1 minute, the 1 minute second that Tottenham would actually do them a favor and beat Manchester City. And we saw, I think it sparked a bit of reaction from Ange, because we saw even the fans. They were like, "Yeah, we don't care as long as we don't give our rivals the league title." But before we get to that, we'll look at the weekend fixtures. We saw, where are we? Okay, Arsenal. No. Where are we? All right, we're here. Yeah, and we start with Manchester City, where they were just too good for Fulham. 4-0. Like, it's a sign of champions. It's a sign of to be champions. 4-0. And you know what, guys? I don't know. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just doing something here. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you guys a question as well. That is this a typical Manchester City performance this season? Because we've seen over the years, when it comes to this stretch, when it comes to between April and May, I think something just clicks in them. They go into hyperdrive. They open their neutrals and they go for it. They can go for like 20 or 15 games unbeaten or winning streak. We've seen it last season. We've seen it before. But for me personally, and this is just for me. For me personally, I thought City this season were not as lethal as last season. They were not enjoyable at times. They just scrapped wins. They just won. And I think maybe it might be because of some of their players were injured. Beginning of the season, Alvarez was there. Haaland was not there. And for me personally, I think I was having this argument and discussion with in one of my WhatsApp groups that for me, Foden was carrying City this season. And it was a debate, not even the discussion. It was a debate, and it went on for days and weeks. And sometimes we pull out stats, and I'm not taking away from. I'll tell you what the guys think who should win the player of the season. Maybe you might agree with them as well, and we'll discuss it. Stats. The great Steve Compella once said, "Stats are like bikini. Do not reveal everything." And I was just actually thinking yesterday. I was like, you know what? If you look at that game here, Tottenham. Sorry to go to Tottenham. If you look at that game at Tottenham, and you went to stats, you would actually see, or you would actually tell us, or Foden was not influential in that game. If you look at only stats, but if you look at the game, you would see both goals. Foden. It's an assist before an assist. Both goals actually. Foden. And it got me thinking that how many of those this season has he done? How many of those has he dribbled past people, passed it to someone, and passed it to someone they score? I don't know what they call it, a pre-assist. I think it's what it's called, pre-assist. So he doesn't get the assist when you go to stats, but the goal, it's like. So personally for me, Foden has been carrying City. I remember recording with the boy and Bazir. I told them, Phil Foden, watch out for him. Phil Foden is going to score important goals for Manchester City in this title race. And that was before there was a 2-horse race. I think it was Arsenal and Liverpool, and City were way down. And I told them, and Haaland was injured, De Bruyne was injured. I said to them, guys, look out for Foden. He's so influential. This season has lifted up his game. And I ask you as well, the soccer huddlers, do you think If you say, "Oh, I'm Jerry Bolela nonsense," has Foden had an average season this season? Then what? How has Foden's performance been this season? For me, he's been killing City. That's for me. The guys are saying Oli Watkins deserves the player of the season, which is a good shout. It is a good shout. If you look at his goals, he's got 19 goals. He's got about 13 assists. That's a good shout. That's a good return. But for me, personally, that's me. And you look at the league positions as well. Aston Villa sitting on fourth. City going for what? Anyways, I read that. So yeah, they were too good. Let me know what you think, man. If you think with me, hit the like. If you don't agree with me, you can also hit the like or comment. Comment with your player of the season. Comment. Okay, fine. I'll put up the contestants or the nominees for the player of the season in the committee chat. Let's vote. Let's see who wins it. I know who's gonna win it, but let's see who wins it. Who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? David Moyes' last home game of the season um, ended up with a victory. As we know, he's leaving West Ham and Hotla Lapotoli. If you don't know, Lapotoli is the former Wolves, the former, I think, Sevilla coach as well. Yeah, he left Wolves because Barakista is best players. Then he's coming back to the EPL with West Ham. Bayern Munich were looking for him and he said, no, he's going to Wolves. So a 3-1 victory over Luton, which mathematical. It's not even mathematical, which, because if Luton win and then Forest lose their game, Luton need to win by at least 14 goals, which is highly impossible. It can't happen if there's match fixing. 14 goals, they are gone. I think they were one of my favorite teams, and I said, I'm hoping for them to survive relegation, but it wasn't meant to be. I think in the past month, we've seen Adropile in form, and I think it was because of squad depth as well as experience in the league as well, and also the gap between the EPL teams and the relegate and the promoted teams it's just way high. So Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United. Unfortunately, we have to say to them goodbye. They're gone from the EPL. We'll see them hopefully. I don't know when, but yeah, they're gone. They're going to the Championship, and we've seen Leicester City. They're coming back. The Foxes, led by their veteran Jamie Vardy and Mfano Mumbariki Mudidi. Is it Mudidi or Muvidi? Mvidi. Yes, I think I've got it right. Mvidi. And Ipswich City. Kenan McKinnon. Is this Karen McKinnon? Oh, yeah, their coach. Ipswich as well. And the last team will be decided on the playoffs, which are currently playing in this week or next week. So, yeah, Sheffield United, Burnley, and Luton, they're out. They are out. So, yeah, speaking of Nottingham Forest, we saw a nice game. Got the City ground. They were playing against Chelsea. And Chelsea had to come from behind twice. I don't know what happened. Like, I thought Chelsea were losing that game because Chelsea scored first, they equalized, and they led 2-1. And in a space of 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, Chelsea came back. They equalized and they won the game. They equalized and they won the game. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is football. This is why we love the EPL. So they survived. They survived. If they had won that game, mathematically, Luton would be relegated. Let me just check something. Mathematically, Luton would have been relegated, but because they wouldn't win that, but it's like they need 13 goals to win to go through or to survive, and which is highly unlikely. So, yeah, Palmer as well is a good shout out for player of the season. He's led in the front. Mamsaline from Manchester City, and he came into a very, very poor Chelsea team, and he's lifted them. He lifted them up to 6th position. They're currently sitting in 6th, of a chance to play Europa League next season. That's how influential he's been. So yeah, Manchester United, they played against Arsenal. My God. You know what? I know Amrabat Bambasendile to Fiorentina, his loan spell by by Odegaard, but for me, I think he was one of our best players on the field. He made mistakes. Obviously, he's human. He's bound to make mistakes, and he hasn't played 90 minutes. I think he only played one. That was his second 90 minutes in the whole season. But for me, it was our best player, especially coming against one of the best midfielders in the league currently, Declan Rice and Thomas Partey and Morten Odegaard. I thought he did well. And another question I raised to you, Soccer Huddlers, were Man United the better team or were Arsenal afraid of losing? Because they scored and then they set back. Was it the case of Arsenal afraid of losing or Man United were really the better team on the night? Let me know. It's like the game against Spurs and Manchester City. Once City went one up, Spurs looked like they could score and they missed a great chance. You wouldn't want anyone on the end of the chance except for Song. And unfortunately missed it. We saw a game, Aston Villa and Liverpool on Monday. A great game as well. Liverpool went 2-1 up. They went 2-1 up. And Aston Villa came back. And they drew the game 3-3. It was a good game at Villa Park. So, unfortunately, the EPL is coming to an end, guys. Like, our weekends are going to be boring again. It is time to hand over the remote to the wives now. To the wives and to the kids, because the league is coming to an end. This weekend, the final games are going to be playing this weekend. Before we speak about that, obviously I spoke about the City and Tottenham game. A very important game at the top. Well, their North London rivals do them a favor. They didn't, and the fans like, we don't care. And Ange was actually pissed. Was actually angry that this team has a mentality of losers, and he doesn't want to be associated with that. He basically said that, not in his words, but for me, basically said that. Because you could hear the fans saying, we don't care as long as Arsenal doesn't win the league. We don't care if we win this game. What is that? You're a professional football player, but you rather lose so that the other team doesn't benefit from you. I think Mourinho raised those concerns. Conte raised those concerns, but it's not a team. Man United played Newcastle at Old Trafford. The final game of the final home game of the season, which also we beat Fuel to. Sharp. Varane is going end of the season. Anthony Martial is going end of the season. There are some of those players as well. They are going. But yeah, our three youngsters. The future looks bright. Opened the scoring, Kobe Mainu. Ahmad gave us the lead again. And then Rasmus as well restored the lead for us again. Three youngsters performing for Man United. And we look forward to the FA Cup final. But we have to get to the first hurdle, which is the last game of the season. The last fixtures of the match day 38, which is on Sunday. All games are starting at 5. Liverpool versus Wolves. Sheffield versus Tottenham, Luton against Fulham, Brighton against Man United, City, West Ham, Arsenal, Everton, Brentford, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Burnley, Forest, Chelsea, Bournemouth. Those are the last games of the week. And you know what? It is a game week where we would see City just need to win and they win the league. Arsenal need to pray that West Ham do them a favor. It's either they draw with them or they beat them. And then Arsenal are going to be champions in like 20 years. But if City win their game, then it's over. But you know what? Arsenal have been, for me, the better team this season. I think Arsenal have been the best team this season. But the crazy thing is, even at their best, they couldn't beat City. They couldn't dethrone City. So now what more can you do as Mikel Arteta? As Jurgen Klopp? Okay, Jurgen Klopp ongadil. But what more can you do to actually dethrone them? We've seen in the past, Liverpool, 91 points, one game lost the whole season, but they still couldn't win the league. City got 93 points or 92 points. So what more can they do? What more can they do? Next game week as well, Resalwela number 6, 7, and 8. Man United, Chelsea, and Newcastle. Chelsea also just need to win their game. That's it. Or draw. Then they secure. No. They don't have Let me see. Goal difference is plus 13. Yeah, if they draw, Newcastle win. That's it. They in. They secure number 6. So they need a draw. That's it. Done. 1 point. They in. They take the 6 point. Man United and Newcastle will battle out for the 7th position. I don't think Man United can get to 7th position. Even if Chelsea draw, they can't because their goal difference is -3. Chelsea have got 13. So Man United, the highest they can go is seventh position, which is the Conference League. And obviously, we just pray and hope that we win that FA Cup, go Wembley, the FA Cup, yeah, that last game of the season. So, guys, let me know what you think, man. Can Arsenal dethrone City, or is it too little, too late? Is City getting the league title, the 4th league title in a row? What more can they do? I'll drop the nominees of the player of the season, young player of the season, and coach of the season, and let's vote. Let's see. This is South Africa. We live in a democratic nation, so let's vote. Let's see who you think should be the player of the season, and let me know as well what you think of your team's performance. Let me know not only for this game, but let me know of your team's performance, overall team performance of the whole season. If you're a City fan, were you impressed by your team, the way they're going to win their 4th league title? As an Arsenal team, as an Arsenal fan, were you impressed on how Arsenal played this season? For me, it's not even a doubt. Arsenal have been the best team this season, but their best, unfortunately, was not enough. And catch me as well. Sunday, we're going to do our first watch-along for the EPL. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we're going to do our first watch-along for the final games of the season. Please join me Friday, not Friday, but Sunday, 4:30, we'll go live for the watch-along of the final games of the EPL. Where we'll see, will City get dethroned, or will Arsenal win their first league title in 20 years? Until we meet again, remember, prevention is better than cure. Don't risk it unless it's worth it. I'm out.